Jack didn't immediately go home. He felt like walking for one, because he couldn't believe he wasn't fired and shipped back to prison after that outburst. And two, he thought that if he went home right away, he would just pack up and jump parole, make a run for it. After the kindness Paul had showed him, Jack couldn't do it. He'd stick it out a bit longer. After all, it wasn't so bad here. Apart from getting hit by a baseball from that jerk of a kid, it wasn't all that bad. He was thinking of that kid's blank stare in his mind's eye, when all of a sudden a crazy bearded man with long gray hair jumped in front of him and grabbed him by the arms. "Are you the one?" he shouted. He smelled awful. He started shaking Jack. "Are you the one?" He had wild eyes, pieces of straw and trash stuck in his beard and hair. Jack shoved him away a bit harder than he meant to, and the man fell to the ground. The disheveled man immediately turned over and started scanning the ground, sniffing it and clawing at it, mumbling as he searched. "The one, where is he, where is he, where is he? I gotta find him. Drink, he has my drink. The one, where is he, where is he, where is he?" Jack had seen some drunk crazies in his time living in the city, but this man was on a whole different level. The way he scanned the ground wasn't even human-like. He moved like a dog, or even more like a lizard, Jack thought. Without warning, he stopped in his tracks, still as a stone. He saw a mouse in the gutter. The man and the mouse were both frozen in a moment of tension. Just then, the mouse jumped down a nearby storm drain. The old man shrieked, and with cat-like ferocity, jumped front first down the drain. Jack could only look on with horrid amazement as the man wriggled himself down into the gutter. "I'll get you! You come back here! Come back here! Give me my drink! The one. When Jack finally unfroze, he started to walk away as quick as his legs could carry him, but his eyes didn't leave the storm drain. When Jack finally turned his head to see where his feet were leading him, he ran right into 3 white-robed figures. "Good evening, brother," said the pale priest. "Have you heard about the one?" The 3 stood there, blocking Jack's path. They stared at him, all but expressionless save their eerie smiles. "The one is a great man, but more than great, and more than man. Come, let us bask in his glory." The pale priest went to put a hand on Jack's shoulder, but Jack knocked it aside and quickly walked away. As he walked, he turned and looked over his shoulder and saw the 3 figures standing there, standing and staring. When Jack turned back, he heard one shout out, "You are welcome to join the blessed in the glory of the one." Jack ignored them. He just wanted to get back to his apartment. What is this place, thought Jack. Who are these people? Is this some crazy cult town? Who is this parole officer, and what does he want with me? I need answers. Is this guy some brainwashing maniac? Some kind of mad psychologist experimenting on people? Some dark magician? Or is there something in the water here? I need answers, but all I have are questions. A street light suddenly turned on to Jack's right, and it startled him enough to make him jump and raise his arms. The street was silent in the waning light from the day. I'm way too on edge, he thought. It's this place. I need to calm down. When he got back to his apartment, he drew his curtain closed, and he couldn't help but pace back and forth. After a while, he realized he was wringing his hands and gritting his teeth, so he went to his bag, pulled out a bottle, and popped 2 anti-anxiety pills in his mouth. He walked to the sink and got himself some water to wash them down. He secretly wished it was whiskey instead of tap water. Then, he laid down on the bed and tried to breathe deeply and calm himself. Soon, he was relaxed enough to stay still and think straight. It wasn't long after that his eyelids started to get heavy, and he felt the medication taking effect. Right before he got too tired, a worried thought crossed his mind. He jumped up to the window, slowly parted the curtains, and looked down onto the sidewalk, illuminated by the street lamp. No one was there. The next morning, Jack showed up to work a few minutes early. He walked in the back to Paul's office. The door was open, and Paul sat at a small table, looking at bills. Jack knocked on the door frame. "Hey, Jack," said Paul, looking up. "What's up?" I'm sorry about yesterday," said Jack. Hey," said Paul. "I'm the last guy you have to apologize to. I'll be the first to tell you that
coming here takes some adjustment, especially coming from the city."
You came from the city?
Yeah, it was years ago. But yeah, and it's not easy. But you get used to it. Hell, you might even find some things you like about the place if you give it half a chance. But coming here especially, it'll take a while.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. The glory of the one?
Oh, I take it you had a run-in with the blessed.
The blessed?
The monk-looking fellas in the white robes?
Yeah.
Yeah, the blessed. They're harmless. Just a little enthusiastic, that's all.
Enthusiastic?
Jack, remember when I told you some people take your parole officer a little too seriously? Well, that's all it is.
Yeah, but the one? Who calls himself the one? Who even lets that happen? Is this guy some sort of cultist?
I've never known him to be that way. let me just say this. He doesn't encourage that kind of behavior. But he recognizes that people are free to make their own decisions and choose for themselves.
How benevolent of him.
I get the sarcasm, but Jack, wait to meet the guy at least. Hey, for now, let's prep for the breakfast rush.